Happy Monday. We're back at it. Hope you had a good weekend. It is the 6th day of March, 2023. I'm Dan Kuntz, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. As you can see behind me from our Cascadian camera in downtown Wenatchee, it's snowing. Now, the snow is not sticking to the pavement, at least I can tell. It's hitting the pavement and melting. It's sticking to yards, lawns, things like that, trees, but it's not really sticking to the roadways, and hopefully it won't. But what you see right now is really in a microcosm what we're going to have all week long. It's going to be much cooler than normal. We're going to have hit and miss rain, hit and miss snow, below normal temperatures. We catch a little bit of a break on Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday afternoon, another system comes in just in time for the weekend. The KPQ Home Expos this weekend at the Town Toyota Center. We're going to be there. It's going to be pretty cloudy and pretty cool. And pretty wet. We've been stuck in this pattern for a couple of weeks, and it's not going anywhere. Forecast details are coming up. We have some news headlines. The continuing battle between the city of Leavenworth and Project Bayern enters a new phase. More lawsuits. We'll talk about that. Sports. Lots of sports. Gobs of sports. A good Sunday for the Mariners. An excellent weekend for the Kraken. We have highlights of all the local teams from the Hardwood Classic, and the Wenatchee Wild had a nice victory on Saturday night. We have a bunch of sports coming your way. And in the back half of the program, it's our monthly check-in with our friends at Confluence Health. Dr. Owen Baldwin will be my guest. He's a gastroenterologist. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and he's going to talk about your gut. Get it checked, folks. Dr. Baldwin will be my guest in the back half of the program. An important and informative conversation with a good doctor. You don't want to miss that. 2 minutes after the hour, here we go. Because of the snow and the clouds and the fog, we have limited camera availability because we want to show you something instead of just a big blotch of gray. You can see the snow coming down. It started snowing about 3:50 this morning. Yes, I'm awake at that hour. And it's been snowing fairly lightly ever since. Every once in a while it gets a little more intense, then it tapers off. As you can see from our Cascadian camera pointed to the south of town, that it's not sticking to the roadway. Thank goodness it's snowing on a Monday, which is the lightest commute of the week. The local schools have late start, and a lot of people, professionals, don't really work on Mondays, so that's good. It's the lightest traffic day of the year, so if you're going to have snow during the week, you might as well be on a Monday. We're going to turn around the other direction. This is the Cascadian looking to the north on Wenatchee Avenue. Again, it's not sticking to the roadway. People seem to be getting where they're going. The passes are okay. Traction tires are just advised on the big three. The plows have been getting ahead of the story on that. We're going to show you a slide a little bit, but you're going to notice when we show you the slide on the snow totals, the folks to the north of us are going to get a little bit more snow than us here in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's look to the roof of our building to Wenatchee City Hall. Looks something like that. You can see the snow coming down. There it is, sticking to the yards there, the grass, but not really sticking to the sidewalks or the streets. And it's going to melt. I mean, we're going to be up near 40. Keep in mind that our normal high temperature is 49 degrees. And let's head out to Arundel Rock and take a look there. There is Lake Aniet. Way off in the distance, there's Turtle Rock. Uriah has that zoomed out about as far as it can get. I don't see a car on the highway there. I'm sure there are. We just can't see any. Saturday's high was 40. Yesterday's high was 40. We're supposed to be at 49. Ain't gonna get there, folks. As I mentioned before, it's going to be cool and unsettled all week long. We have this slide to show for you. This is your expected snow totals today for north central Washington. And as you can see, I guess we're going to jump right to the, there we go. Got a little premature there. Take a look at where you live. As you can see to the north of us, Chelan can get a couple of inches. It'll melt. We're going to get about an inch if we get that here in the Wenatchee Valley. Very little snow expected up near the Canadian border, but you can see where the pockets of snow are expected to fall. No big, heavy accumulations, but enough to make it a little dicey. There's no real snow in the forecast, again, until we get to Thursday night and Friday, and we have a pretty good chance of measurable snow this weekend, believe it or not. From Apple Valley Honda, the sponsor, and from the National Weather Service, the snow should be done by noonish or so, and again, an inch if we get that. And you'll see 39 for the afternoon high. That is 10 degrees below normal. But the blanket will keep us fairly mild tonight, 28 for the overnight low. Lots of clouds, dry tomorrow, high of 37, a gray Thursday. We get a few sun breaks on Wednesday, but again, we're not anywhere near high. Now, our normal high by the time we get to Wednesday is 50 degrees. Nope, sorry. 24 for the overnight low Wednesday night into Thursday. We start talking a little bit of light snow perhaps on Thursday. Still no sunshine. and a high of 37 degrees, and it's going to stay that way right into the weekend. Well below normal temperatures, about 12 to 13 degrees below normal for our afternoon highs, and rain-snow mixes during the coldest part of the day is a distinct possibility Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're waiting for spring, you're going to have to keep waiting, or you go elsewhere where it's sunny and mild. Ain't going to be that way here. After a break, we will have your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
All paws on deck as Ryder and the crew set sail in Paw Patrol Live, the great pirate adventure. For more information, you can go to pawpatrollive.com.
Playing Town Toyota Center March 21st and 22nd. For tickets, visit pawpatrollive.com.
Or you can win a family 4-pack. All you have to do is go to the original Children's Shop in downtown Wenatchee and get signed up. It's a $106 value. The original Children's Shop, downtown Wenatchee. Get there, get signed up, and win.
Lots of clouds, lots of fog, some light rain mixed with snow. It's snowing. 30 degrees, will be upper 30s. Snow will be tapering off, but cool, mostly cloudy, and just unsettled gray weather for most of this week, and even worse coming up for the weekend. 7 minutes after the hour, Project Bayern, that's the nonprofit who ran Leavenworth's Oktoberfest for years, will be allowed to countersue the city over its use of a social media hashtag. Leavenworth and its Chamber of Commerce used the hashtag Leavenworth Oktoberfest to describe their 2022 festival after turning down Project Bayern's application to manage the event for a 24th year. Instead, the association went on to hold its own Oktoberfest event in Wenatchee, and the city sued over the naming rights. Project Bayern's counterclaim alleged that the city and the chamber violated its right to the name Leavenworth Oktoberfest. On Friday, a federal judge said only the hashtag could be the subject of a legal claim. No trial date has yet been set. The Washington State Department of Health is ending, the Secretary of Health is ending the health mask order beginning April 3rd. Requirements in health care, long-term care, and adult correctional facilities for people aged 5 and older will no longer be required. The Department of Health cited a continued decline of COVID-19, RSV, and influenza rates and hospitalizations since the end of last year as part of its decision. Going forward, local or tribal governments, facilities, and providers will have a choice whether or not to continue requiring masks on their facilities. Most of the indoor mask requirements, of course, ended just about a year ago in our state. The largest retrofitted airplane to run on hydrogen took flight in Moses Lake on Thursday. It's a de Havilland Canada Dash 8300. It reached an altitude of 3,500 feet, flew for about 15 minutes. The Dash 8300 has a capacity for 40 passengers and has the potential flight distance of about 600 miles. The office of Senator Maria Cantwell is the chair of the Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, said the emission-free flight could potentially be the plane for all regional flights in our state. Universal Hydrogen, who's been working to convert the plane to be hydrogen-powered, is in the process of working with the Federal Aviation Administration to complete testing plans to ensure flight safety and to establish hydrogen flight regulations. And finally, on this Monday, communities like Leavenworth are becoming more bear-aware lately. Remember that attack on a local woman by a black bear with 2 cubs led wildlife officials to track and kill the bear last October. On Wednesday, the Wenatchee River Institute in Leavenworth hosted a roundtable with wildlife experts to talk about human-bear interactions and how to minimize their impact. High on the list of attractions for bears, garbage, our garbage.
It's a big deal keeping garbage away from bears. And it's not that hard if you can just store it, in a place they can't get to until the morning of. That goes a long ways in a lot of the neighborhoods, quite honestly. It's not that hard.
In years with poor berry production, we'll have bears come clear 30 miles up the Chumstick and make their way to town for 2 weeks and then head back up to where they live the rest of the year and never come back just for that 2-week period. Sometimes it's focused around when the apples are ripe. Sometimes it's not. But then they teach their kids to do that, and then the kids will do that too. So it's pretty amazing how they'll come. And that's not just the learned bears around town. That's backcountry bears that are making their way because they know that there's calories here, and then they pass that on generation after generation. So it is real important that we remove that and stop that cycle. So Leavenworth in 2022 was a tough year. You probably heard a lot about it. I mean, we had a female that was killed on East Leavenworth Road, was resulted in 2 orphan cubs. We had another female killed at the intersection between Icicle and East Leavenworth Road, 2 more orphans. Female killed at Commercial Street, also 2 orphan cubs, which we found out actually had names. So this is part of the whole process too, is making sure you're reporting. Right. Bears should not have names. East Leavenworth Road is one of the hot spots. Ski Hill Road, site of another killing and a couple of orphans this year, right up against that interface of the National Forest. That's a hot spot. Icicle Road has always been a hot spot here in town. Chumstick has been a hot spot. And now we're talking about Commercial Street being a hot spot. I think in my time, I could probably count 10 bears that we've killed right in here. That's not good.
No, it is not, and that is what's making news on this Monday. If this morning is any indication, it's going to be another busy day in the bullpen with Jordan and Jefferson and Grant and the whole crew putting together a newscast, I should say, at 5, 6, and 10 with a preview. Here's Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, after a wild weekend weather-wise, quiet and unseasonably cool weather is expected through most of this week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has scores from state high school tournament basketball games from over the weekend, college ball, and results and highlights from the Kraken and Mariners. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. If you got a news tip or you just want to drop us a note, love to hear from you. We have no problems with that. Constructive criticism is great for other people. I prefer unqualified praise. Get a hold of us. Go to our Facebook page, email us at the address you see on your screen, or go to our homepage. It's 13 minutes after the hour. You want sports? We have an adult portion of sports in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Good.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
"15 minutes after the hour, the winter sports season is a done deal. The WIAA Hardwood Classic over the weekend in Yakima and Spokane, and 4 local teams brought home trophies. Davenport made its free throws down the stretch, held on to beat Brewster for the state 2B championship. 65-58 Saturday night in Spokane. Kelson Gebbers led the Bears with 23 points. Tennessee Rainwater led the Gorillas with 24 points.
Open floor. Gebbers against Rainwater.
That's a big time move. And that's what he needs to be doing, not just shooting threes.
Jager working against Vassar. Baseline. Soliday reverse. Beautiful. Rainwater. Yes. Now driving against Rainwater. Kicks it along the baseline. Ramirez back to Court Gebbers. Little jump stop and converts. Jager, Jacobson to Rainwater, who misses the layup, but he draws the foul. Gebbers, little acrobatic lay-in. Happened to play. Brewster needs a bucket. Gebbers gets the roll. Yes! Can you believe it? 1 of 2. Rainwater, the big rebound. And Jacobson is fouled. Brewster's got to hurry. Wolf loses the handle. Now Vassar throws it away. And that is huge for Davenport. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Gebbers for 3. No good. And the drought is over for Davenport. The Gorillas have won their first boys state championship.
For the Brewster Bears, it is their 32nd trophy in state tournament history. It's the 4th time they have finished second. Okanagan reduced a 19-point deficit to 2 points in the final couple of minutes, but the comeback bid fell short to Colfax. It was the Battle of the Bulldogs, the state 2B girls championship, the final 59-52. Alina Lafferty led 3 players in double figures for Okanagan. She had 17. Everest Jones 16, and freshman J.C. Bozell had 10.
Just felt like it was the right time after the job opened up. And that 3-point attempt is good by Alina Lafferty. And we have ourselves suddenly an 8-point game. Bozell playing with 4 fouls in her own right. Lafferty for 3. Got it! Can you believe it? Alina Lafferty, another 3. She has 20, and it's a 5-point game. An amazing development here. Inside 2 minutes to play. 5-point ball game. Lafferty. That's Eris Jones. Got it! She has 13, and it is a 2-point game. All right, here we go. A minute to go. Lafferty, left-hand layup. Too strong, and it's Booth the rebound, but she gives it away. Lafferty gets it back. Gibb playing some tough defense on Eris Jones, and nobody home on the baseline pass. Colfax, in fact, the entire crowd on its feet, and another big turnover. Last shot there, and that will do it. No good. And Colfax is the top dog in the 2B girls classification.
It's the first runner-up finish for the Okanagan girls. They have won 2 state championships. Caitlin Borkland scored 18 points. Maddie Hammond had 10 to lead Kashmir over Freeman. 45-36 Saturday. They take 4th place in the state 1A girls tournament in Yakima.
Freeman continues to look to press. Bassinet with the ball up top. They break the press. Over to Hammond. Hammond with an easy 2 there. As we have action going again, Bassinet with a scoop underneath for 2. Absolutely. Long 3 to the end of the game. No good. And we come to the end of the first game today. Kashmir with the win, 45-36 over the Freeman Scotties.
Kashmir played 4 games in 4 days, and to walk away with this trophy, it means a lot to the Bulldogs. 4th place, and you can see them right in front of us celebrating.
For the Lady Bulldogs, it's their 10th trophy in school history. It's the first time they've ever finished 4th. They've finished runner-up 3 times, and they finished 3rd in the state 6 times. Oakesdale jumped out to a 13-3 first quarter lead on Waterville-Mansfield Saturday. Never looked back. They win their 4th state 1B girls tournament 55-28. The Shockers are led by the 9 points of Tiara Miller. This is the first trophy ever for the combined schools of Waterville and Mansfield. The Shockers from Waterville have placed 6 other times including fourth place back in 2001. Morton White Pass held a 7-point lead at the half, and then they breezed from there. They beat Lake Roosevelt boys 63-45 to take fourth place at the state 2B boys tournament in Spokane. Jake Cornier led the Timberwolves with 23 points. Ivan Alejandre led the Raiders with 14. The sixth place finish is the sixth trophy in Lake Roosevelt's team history. It's the fourth time they have finished in sixth place. All right, enough for high school. Let's move on to colleges. Haley Van Lith's Louisville Cardinals fell short on Championship Sunday to 8th-ranked Virginia Tech in the ACC title game, 75-67. Haley finished with 12 points in the loss. Washington State completing a sweep, knocking off 19th-ranked UCLA for the Pac-12 Championship Sunday, 65-61. Charlize Ledger-Walker led the Cougars with 23 points in the championship game. 14th-ranked Gonzaga will take on BYU in the WCC semifinals today in Las Vegas at noon. As far as the men are concerned, Eastern Washington stunned in the semifinal of the Big Sky tournament yesterday in Boise. They lost to Northern Arizona 81-80. Oakland Fort sinking the game-winning three at the buzzer for the Lumberjacks. The 10th-ranked Gonzaga men will take on San Francisco in the WCC semifinal tonight. That's at 8:30 on ESPN2. The Dons advance with a double overtime upset of Santa Clara Saturday, 93-87. Great night of hockey for the Wenatchee Wild at the Town Toyota Center Saturday. Huge crowd and a big victory, 5-1 over Chilliwack. Luke Whalens scoring 2 goals in the first 2 periods for Wenatchee to get out to a narrow lead, but the Wild turned it on in the third period to make sure the big home crowd left happy. The game also had, well, they fought a lot too.
Wild are going to continue to do their best to do just that. Wristed toward the net. Weiland from the left half, and it's turned aside by McNicholas. Wild have it on the end boards. Berger trying to set it up out front. Weiland finds it. He scores! Luke Weiland goals in 5 in a row for number 5, and the Wild have the 1-0 lead. At the blue line, Teleguin works it to the left wing dot. Looking to bring it around the world, send it back door, and they score. Nathan Morin left unmarked on the back post. Bonnet hangs on to it, works it behind the net for Littler. Littler to the end boards, getting some help, sends it back out, left point. Bonnet with a chance. Rich out, he scores! It got tipped! It got in the back of the net, the Wild have got the lead back, it's 2-1. Dump in is Littler, comes right back to him. Works it to the far corner, 2:10 left in the Dick's Heating Air Conditioning power play. Wild up 2-1. Played across, one timer from Littler, he scores! Cade Littler again! His 11th power play goal of the year, and the Wild have scored another one on the man advantage. It's 3-1. Back over to Moore. Sadlowski trying to get back to his feet, and Valdez with a forearm to McGillivray, and we've got some action on the near hash mark wall. It's a wrestling match between Milburn and Valdez. Everybody climbing in. Sadlowski has to be separated. Linesmen step in to separate a couple of them. Bonnet gets tangled up with Ballou on the near half wall. To the end boards. And a hip-to-hip check, maybe a little more as Kim gets in underneath. Weed gets knocked down. Penalty coming up. This will be on Chilliwack. LaCroix comes back to his feet. Gasparini gets tangled up. Jones is in the middle of it. Coming to it is Delay. A little jostling with Abbott. Teleguin throwing a couple of left hands with the glove on. Face-off belongs to the Wild as they head back on the Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning. Power play, but not for long! Littler, left wing circle, he scores! 8 seconds in, and it's 4-1. Penalty box locked up there and secured for 2 minutes is Hunter McInnes serving the penalty. And another one for the Wild. A shot from the left point, Littler, it's redirected. They score again! Micah Berger this time. Through left wing, gets it to the hash marks. Trying to curl it to the forehand side. Looking to wrap it around, send it in front. Battle for the puck on his right hip, and a couple of fantastic saves on the chances from Gravis. So we've got more on the end boards. Wild are going to win this one big in front of their biggest home crowd in the regular season in 11 years. 10 seconds left in the penalty time to Georgiaklis. On the boarding call, he's ready to come out of the Marson Wild penalty box. Marson building this Wild team one win at a time.
Wild is on the road for the next couple of games, critical games. I might add, they'll be at Merritt Friday and Seminole on Saturday. Wenatchee is 5 points back of the Silverbacks for fourth place in the BCHL's interior division, so home ice advantage in the playoffs, and they want that. So big games this weekend at Merritt Friday and Salmon Arm on Saturday. Seattle Kraken completes the 4-game road sweep Sunday, and they beat the defending Stanley Cup champions in the process. Overtime in Colorado, they knock off the Avalanche. The Avalanche taking a 1-0 lead in the first period. Then Alex Wenberg got the Kraken on the board in period number 2.
It's a good hockey club. We should not be surprised that their relentless style has put them in the number 3 spot in the Pacific. Popped up top, Morgan with a drive, score. It was redirected by Wenberg for his 12th of the season. You can hear it a mile away. McCaw slides it up ice. Here's Morgan on a breakaway. He shoots and scores. Dennis Morgan, sprung by Cale McCarr. McKinnon turns it over to Schwartz. In front, score. Tanev, right at the hashes between the circles, has tied the game at 2. In front, Gord tried to give it off, and the Avs come away with it. Taves want to try to eat this and then get it out. And we are going to go to overtime at Ball Arena. Comfort needs a change in the worst kind of way, but he can't get to the bench, and now finally he'll make his way across. Watch out, on the stick of Gord, walks in, shoots and scores. The Avs got caught in a change in OT, and the Seattle Kraken win it by a final score of 3-2.
Philip Grubauer had a good day in front of the net. He stopped 21 of 23 shots for Seattle. They return home tomorrow to host Anaheim, 7 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN Plus. I can't, I don't have it. Or you can watch it on Hulu, which I do have. That's good news. And finally, the Mariners bounce back from a big loss to Colorado Saturday to beat the Brewers Sunday 6-1. In Cactus League baseball, Chris Flexen looked excellent on the mound. He went 3 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball for the Mariners. Offensively, Teoscar Hernandez got things going for the Mariners at the top of the second inning with 2 aboard.
The 2-1 swung a stroke on one hop to third. He eats Toro alive, goes into left field, a base hit. Coming in to score is McCoy. Kelnick right behind him, trots home to stomp on home plate. Into second goes Teoscar. That was a rocket as he drives in 2. The Mariners take the lead. It's 2-0. With a runner at third, the pitch. Swung on, stroke to center field. Back on it, Mitchell. He's at the track. He's looking up, and that one is gone. Cooper Hummel rides it out to center field. A 2-run blast. No doubt about that one. Mariners add a couple of more. It's 4-0 M's.
And listen to these Mariner fans here at Maryville. Here's the next pitch to Kelnick. Swung on, high drive. Center field. Just going to watch that baby get out of here over the batter's eye. J.K. Jared Kelnick with a home run. Wow, his 4th of the season. There was no doubt about that one. Oh, did he powder that one.
Mariners back in Peoria today. They'll take on the Cubs at 12:10. Louis Castillo will toe the rubber for the Mariners. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 28 minutes after the hour. I had 5 obscure holidays I could have chosen. Today is National Dress Day, National Frozen Food Day, National White Chocolate Cheesecake Day, National Oreo Cookie Day. It's ironic that it's National Oreo Cookie Day, which just makes your teeth look all black, because it's also National Dentist's Day. Today, dentistry goes back 7,000 years. It's one of the very first medical professions. Back in the day, the average American, fun fact about your teeth and dentistry, the average American will spend 39 hours of your life brushing your teeth, provided you live to the whatever age that the actuarial tables tell you, 39 hours lifetime of brushing your teeth. Blue toothbrushes are more popular than red toothbrushes like eye care. Ancient Greeks used alabaster and talc as toothpaste before toothpaste was invented. The average person spends about 48 seconds each time they brush their teeth. You're supposed to do it at least 2 minutes. 3 is even better. 48 isn't enough. You need to brush your teeth longer than just 48 seconds. If you drink 3 or more glasses of soda every day, you have 62% more chance of developing cavities. Sugar-filled soda drinks are not good for your teeth. And there's also this little fact about National Dentistry Day, 25% of adult Americans have no teeth at all. Take care of your mouth, it will take care of you. It is 30 minutes after the hour. Today in history, the Battle of the Alamo. The siege is over after 13 days. There was only about 200 Texans behind the walls of the Alamo. There were 3,000 Mexican troops against 200 Americans. You pretty much know how this is going to turn out. All 187 Texas volunteers, including Davy Crockett and including Jim Bowie, were killed or captured and killed in the Battle of the Alamo. The fort is captured. I've been to the Alamo in San Antonio. It's pretty impressive. You get a sense of history when you visit the Alamo. It was all over after a 13-day siege. Taken, the Battle of the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas, March 6th, 1836, 184 years ago today. This is the 163rd anniversary of the great self-inflicted wound of the United States Supreme Court, the Dred Scott decision, Dred Scott v. Sanford, in which the court ruled, written by the Chief Justice, Roger B. Taney, quote, a Negro whose ancestors were imported into this country and sold as slaves, whether they are slaves or free men, are not American citizens and therefore have no standing to sue in federal court, and that the federal government had no power to regulate slavery in the federal territories that became part of the United States after the United States was born. Roger B. Taney thought this would end the slavery question once and for all. It had the exact opposite effect, the Dred Scott decision. Oops, 163 years ago today. And 45 years ago today, the Abraham Zapruder film of the assassination, the murder of the President of the United States, had never been seen on national television before. Jim Garrison, the New Orleans district attorney, during his legal entanglements in the late 1960s, subpoenaed a copy of the Zapruder film, and he was given about a fourth-generation FBI copy. And from that copy, he made multiple copies, Jim Garrison did, and handed them out or had people pay for it. But it was never shown in public, just very discreetly every once in a while, and you had to pay and go to a college campus or something to see the Zapruder film. That changed on the night of March 6, 1975. The show was Good Night America. It was Geraldo Rivera's late-night talk show. I'm not going to show you the Zapruder film, but here is what they did leading up to the showing of the Zapruder film.
It's become very chic among television producers to put a disclaimer at the head of any film. The film you're about to see might be shocking, it might be horrifying, you might not want your kids to watch it. And I think the unfortunate net effect of that is to make more people watch it. Well, I'm telling you right straight out that if you are at all sensitive, if you're at all queasy, then don't watch this film. Just put on the late night movie because this is very heavy. It's the film shot by the Dallas dress manufacturer Abraham Zapruder, and it's the execution of President Kennedy. And Bob and Dick, would you please?
That's the most upsetting thing I've ever seen. We'll talk about it in a minute.
You can watch the original broadcast of that on YouTube. The audience reaction is in and of itself remarkable. That was on this date in 1975. And finally, 34 minutes after the hour, birthdays. To me, the greatest pitcher ever. Certainly the greatest left-handed pitcher, with all due respect to Warren Spahn and Sandy Koufax and Steve Carlton. But Robert Moses Lefty Grove is, in my opinion, the greatest left-handed pitcher in baseball history. He was the best. He may be the best pitcher ever. In the Hall of Fame, twice a Triple Crown winner, led the American League in wins 4 times, 9 times led the league in ERA. Robert Moses Lefty Grove, the greatest left-handed pitcher in baseball history, born 123 years ago today. 2 American legends born exactly on this day 100 years ago today. Ed McMahon for 30 years, Johnny Carson's sidekick, on The Tonight Show when he hosted Star Search and bloopers and all that stuff. He was all over television. Ed McMahon was also a war hero. He threw 85 combat missions, flew the airplane in Korea. He earned 6 medals during the Korean War. He was a Marine and a darn good one. Ed McMahon, born 100 years ago today. My favorite jazz guitarist is Wes Montgomery. Wes Montgomery was born also on this date 100 years ago today. Just listen to the music and you'll agree with me, especially the Riverside recordings when he went over to Verve Records and they kind of commercialized it. Not quite as good, but the greatest jazz guitarist ever was born 100 years ago today, Wes Montgomery. And happy birthday to Shaquille O'Neal. He's 48 years old today, 4 times an NBA champion, 3 times an MVP, and shoes bigger than my first car. Shaq is 48. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. Mike doesn't like tipping. Well, he has problems with it anyway. I'll talk about that. And then it's our monthly check-in with our friends at Confluence Health. Dr. Owen Baldwin gets to do the honors. We're talking about colorectal cancer. You don't want it. And he'll walk you through that process when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
Attention, attention! Collins Fashions has launched its famous buy one, get one free sale. That's right, buy one red check item of 50% off and get the second red check item of equal or lesser value free. Great selection of jackets, vests, sweaters, tees, PJs, dresses, slacks, jeans, etc., etc. New merchandise arriving daily from Tribal, Charlie B., Karen Kane, Nick and Zoe, Tommy Bahama, many others. Collins Fashions is where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, when I go into a retail store, I choose my items that I want to purchase. I bring them to the checkout stand, prepared to pay. And lo and behold, there at the cash register is a tip jar. A tip jar? What am I tipping this employee for? For taking my money and accurately reading what the cash register says my change is? Now, tipping is getting way out of hands, folks. I can and do understand tipping food service folks, and I regularly tip 20% or more. I really do. And I tip cab and Uber drivers and folks who deliver food to my house. I also tip baristas because, honestly, my daughter used to be one. But a tip jar at a retail establishment, I can just imagine the next time I go into my local hardware store, pick up my light bulbs and a screwdriver that I need, and when I go to pay, there's going to be a tip jar on the counter. Sorry, ain't gonna have none of my money in it. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And a lot of people were losing jobs, friends had left the community. It was a hard time. That football team and companies like Abby's kept that place alive and the community spirit alive. That's legendary.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Crystal's Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and enjoy your dining experience while taking in the breathtaking views of the mountains. And you can host your next private event at Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge, 2 blocks west of downtown Leavenworth. Enjoy the warm atmosphere of Crystal's event space and the enthusiasm of their staff. Not to mention their mouth-watering banquet menu, which has something to fit every group's needs. Reserve your date today.
All paws on deck as Ryder and the crew set sail in Paw Patrol Live, the great pirate adventure. For more information, you can go to pawpatrollive.com.
Playing Town Toyota Center March 21st and 22nd. For tickets, visit pawpatrollive.com.
Or you can win a family 4-pack. All you have to do is go to the original children's shop in downtown Wenatchee and get signed up. It's a $106 value. The original children's shop, downtown Wenatchee. Get there, get signed up, and win. Welcome back to the program. Once a month we check in, if you will, with our friends at Confluence Health. The month of March is no exception. We did this interview last year with Dr. Jennifer Jorgensen, who works in the gastroenterology department at Confluence Health, to talk about colorectal cancer, because March is Awareness Month for that particular C. And doing the honors this time around is Dr. Owen Baldwin, who has taken time off from his busy schedule to pay us a visit. And you told me, Doc, off air that you are busy. You guys have been probably a little busier than you'd like to be.
Very busy, especially when it comes to colon cancer screening and surveillance. And thanks again for having me. Happy to spread the news.
The awareness, I think, is out there. We've seen the ads, the Cologuard ads. You know, do this in the box and send it in.
Right.
You can't get away from them. It's more prevalent now than ever before, without people doing the things that increase your risk. I guess let's start with that.
Yeah.
And I've read up on this. What's going on? You're finding colon cancer, in some cases even advanced colon cancer, in younger people who don't lead a lifestyle that would lead to that. What's happening here?
That's correct. Unfortunately, to skip to the answer, we don't really know what's driving that. We just know that we are seeing it in younger people. Both colon cancer and precancerous lesions. Presumably, and hopefully the evidence will come out later on this, it's just environmental factors, diet, things in society that we're exposed to that we don't know about yet, but we just know that the incidence is going up. And the big change being that now, instead of what we always remembered, age 50 start screening, now it's 45 to account for that difference.
And it's even earlier than that if you have a history of colorectal cancer in your family.
Yeah, so if you're, and we're talking about average risk for screening at age 45, if you're at a high risk for screening, whether that's because you have another condition affecting your colon or a family history, then it may be even earlier depending on what age your relatives had colon cancer.
The recovery rate, if it's caught early enough, like a lot of cancers, is pretty high. And for colorectal cancer, it's very high. It's 90% if it's caught in time that you're going to live 5 years.
Yeah, we have very good treatments for colon cancer. A lot of times they can be cured, at early stages. And the benefit of detecting it early is to fall into that category where you could be cured with, potentially a relatively straightforward surgery, or sometimes even, by way of a colonoscopy, we find cancer in a polyp, and that polyp is removed, and it's gone.
Let's talk about colonoscopy, because that is the number one screening method. That's what it is.
Yep.
I've had one. Almost everybody I know at my age has had one. For those who don't actually know what the procedure is, and you can be as graphic or ungraphic as you want, Dr. Baldwin, but you hear myths and misconceptions of the procedure. Let's address those.
Yeah. First thing I tell people when I meet them is it'll be the easiest part of your week, really. The difficult part, obviously, is cleaning out beforehand. The day before, you have to drink some stuff to get poop out of you. There's only one way to do that. But the next day, you'll be sedated, and you'll have a 20, 30-minute nap, and that's it. And then, the doc will talk to you afterwards, let you know what they found. We're looking for polyps, which will, in most cases, turn into a cancer if you leave them in there for 5 or 10 years. So the main benefit of doing a colonoscopy is we can remove those at the same time, and that's how we really prevent the colon cancer versus some of the other screening tests.
You mentioned precancerous lesions. They can sit there for a long time and just be benign, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, let's get moving," and that's
yes. Until you have advanced polyp or cancer, really, they're totally asymptomatic. Mm-hmm. And not infrequently. In fact, yesterday I had a case, we did a colonoscopy for a totally different reason in a pretty young person, and also found a very large polyp. So that's not uncommon. And one of the reasons why it's so important to get tested, even if you are totally symptom-free.
And we talked about this. Again, you've seen the ads, the colon guard, you see the ads on TV. Here's the box, you do your business in the box, you send it back. These are legitimate and accurate tests, are they not?
They are. And it's very important to note that there's a few great ways to be screened. It doesn't have to be a colonoscopy. The downsides of a colonoscopy being you do have to be sedated. It is a procedure. You need a driver to take you home. You need that day off. The other two, equal alternatives are different types of stool tests. One of which basically checks for microscopic amounts of blood. One checks for that and the combination of DNA changes that we see with larger polyps in the poop. But either one of those is proven to be equally effective in screening for average risk people. One of them you have to do every year. That's the downside of that. One of them you can do every 3 years. And if it's negative, you just keep doing that. If it's positive, then you need a colonoscopy. But very effective at screening, and we certainly encourage that as well, and does an equally good job of preventing colon cancer.
When we think of colorectal cancer, I don't know why, I think men. Mm-hmm. I think men get it more. Is it just why do I associate colorectal cancer with men, middle-aged men?
Yeah.
Why do I do that?
I think there are some differences in how patient populations screen. I think men maybe anecdotally are a little more hesitant to go for a colonoscopy.
That's because guys are idiots and they oftentimes don't listen to their damn body.
Yeah, so I think that's where some of that comes from, but still very prevalent in women as well. And the recommendations for screening, there's no difference based on your sex and when you should start screening. But yeah, a lot of the news stories you see are about men, so that might be part of that. But men and women, age 45, get started.
It's as simple as that. So women, this is for you too. I mean, there's no real single cause of colorectal cancer. Again, if you smoke and you drink, you're going to certainly increase your odds of getting it. But basic common sense certainly decreases your chances of getting it. Healthy diet, exercise, that kind of deal, right?
Yeah, we don't have great evidence, again, on a lot of lifestyle things. Smoking is certainly a risk. There's some evidence that consuming a lot of red meat frequently increases your risk. So, don't have a steak every day, maybe, which again is just basic lifestyle common sense things, maybe, even though I love steak. But other than that, yeah, we don't have great answers, and that's why we can't, other than keeping up with screening, we can't say change this and you won't get it and don't worry about screening. All we can say is everybody has to get screened.
And it's funny you bring that up, because after my procedure, I went and had a steak because I had eaten in a day and a half. It was like, let's go. We have a steak and let's do that. We talked about it. It seems to be more prevalent now than ever among younger people, and we don't really know why. But sedentary lifestyle, does that have a lot to do with it? If you just don't move around a lot, are you increasing your chances there? I mean, you're increasing your chances of having poor health to begin with. But can it be directly correlated to colorectal cancer in that regard?
I wouldn't personally say directly, but certainly can make a lot of other health conditions worse. Can make, for example, constipation worse, which can aggravate things. So as part of being generally healthy and active, we'd recommend being as less sedentary as you can be, along with not smoking and everything else.
And they changed the rules a while ago. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, in order to see this good doctor to have a colonoscopy or any other procedure involving your gut, you had to get a referral from a primary care physician. No longer the case, although you should go to your doctor and have a regular physical. You can bypass your primary care physician and go right to your department if you think something's not on the up and up here, right?
Yes, absolutely. Anybody who meets criteria to be screened, over age 45 or younger, as we discussed, if that's indicated, we'll get it done whether you have a referral or not. Even if you don't have a primary care doctor, other than calling in or stopping by, any healthcare provider could also send over a referral or help you order appropriate stool test or whatever. So it's most important that you just find your way to our door, and we'll get it done one way or another, or help you get the stool test of your choice. Yeah.
What do people need to look for? Even if they've had a colonoscopy a year ago and everything was fine and you're good to go. What do you need to know as you listen to your earthly vessel that something is working correctly?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. There are a lot of vague symptoms that can come, so you really do need to be on the lookout. And as you said, even if you've had a colonoscopy in the last few years, there can be random mutations, which is most commonly the case, that lead to big polyps and cancers. So, new stomach pains, bleeding, any kind of blood in the stool, nausea, weight loss, anything out of the ordinary is worth talking about, whether that's with us, primary care provider, anybody. So we try to keep a high level of suspicion. Because the early stages of this are very subtle. Yeah.
Why, of the hundreds of disciplines in medicine, why did you choose the gut, gastroenterology?
Why am I a poop doctor?
Yeah, why are you a poop doctor?
Well, I really enjoy the science of it. We're in some ways plumbers of the body. Mm-hmm. I like the science. I really enjoy the partners and colleagues that I have. I think you have to have a certain sense of humor in this job. I really enjoy the procedures that we do. I think they're very helpful, and they can really change the outcome of people's lives. But it's a nice balance of the time we spend in clinic talking to people and procedures. And again, the people that are in our department are just fantastic people.
And we should be pointed out that gastroenterology isn't just the colon, it isn't just the poop and the colonoscopy. It's the liver and the pancreas and your intestines all working together. So it's a wide discipline.
Yeah, I like to say we cover the most organs in the body, so we're probably the most important. Yeah.
I'm all for that. What's a good day for Dr. Baldwin? Let's close with that. What's a good day when you head home and from another day at the office of Confluence Health? What's a good day for Dr. Baldwin?
Oh, good day is spending time with the family, the young kids, maybe getting to ski in Mission Ridge. Anything outside is a good day.
I've never, of all the doctors I've talked to in this series of interviews, I haven't heard one of them who isn't out doing things. They always bring up skiing or water skiing or going to the lake or anything like that. It's selling Confluence Health to potential physicians, even if they did go to medical school in Ireland, isn't that hard to do. They like to work here. Thank you, Dr. Baldwin. What if we planted a seed for my viewers out there, and I hope we did, what do they do? Go to their primary care physician and say, I think so? Or can we just get right a hold of gastroenterology or bring up my chart and get an appointment and get her done?
Yep. My chart messages, call Confluence, ask for GI. again, any healthcare, primary care provider or other, if you see another subspecialist, other providers outside of Confluence can get you to us. So just ask anybody, you'll find your way.
And again, the new recommendation is 45 and up for your first procedure, and by 50 you better have gotten it done. And it's not that hard. It really isn't. And the double meat, double cheeseburger afterwards is worth it almost. Dr. Baldwin, thanks for coming by.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for having me.
You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
March is a food and wine lover's dream in Chelan, presented by Lake Chelan Wine Valley. Taste Chelan celebrates food and wine all March long, created to tickle your taste buds. Experience a food and wine tour happening every Saturday with special offers all month long. Local wineries select their most tantalizing varietals, paired and curated with food from local restaurants, chefs, and culinary artisans. Taste Chelan. It'll bring out the foodie in you. Buy tickets now by visiting tastechelan.com.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, late for a meeting.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
Looks like from our PTZ camera here in downtown Wenatchee, that's from the roof of the Cascadian, looking to the south, that the snow is beginning to taper off a little bit. And even though we are well into March now, it's going to feel more like the first week in February for most of this week. It's just continued to be cool, unsettled, hit and miss showers, lots of gray skies, low clouds and fog, and the sun for the most part ain't going to be working real hard this week. That means the sun could actually work for us. From our friends at Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service, here is your forecast in detail. The snow should be gone, Johnson, by noon today, with the exception of you folks to the north of us. Chelan, they think you can get a couple of inches of snow and maybe even 3 inches of snow in the upper elevations around the Lake Chelan area. We're not going to get that much here, and whatever we get, obviously, as you can see, is already starting to dissipate. We'll top off at 39 degrees. Our normal high this time of the year is 49 degrees. And as you can see, nowhere near that temperature all week long. 28 for the overnight low tonight. It'll be mild because we'll have lots of clouds. Lots of clouds, but dry on Tuesday. Just a gray day with a high of 37 degrees, 20 for the overnight low Tuesday night, because we're going to start seeing a little bit of sunshine, not much, on Wednesday, and that means those overnight lows are going to be cooler, as you can see. And again, only 38. By the time we get to Thursday, our normal afternoon high would be 50 degrees. Again, not even close to that. Could even see a snowflake or two on Thursday night into Friday. And then system number 2 comes in on Friday. This system is expected to bring widespread precipitation to our area, probably rain on the valley floor, but the upper elevations around the Wenatchee Valley, you could get some measurable snow Thursday night into Friday, Friday night into Saturday, and Saturday night into Sunday. It's all a possibility. And again, those temperatures are going to be below normal. Snow level is going to hover right around 1,400 feet for this weekend. And that's it for us. Have a good and safe Monday. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.